Victoria and Gillian here from Money Love Immersion. Today we're going to talk about goals, and we're going to talk about what you're bringing to your goals, which is often overlooked. We're often sort of taught to be very aspirational in our goal setting, particularly when it comes to money, and we don't recognize what else comes along with us in this whole process. So we sit in a workshop, we get all motivated, all excited, and we don't actually recognize what else is sitting alongside us in that process. And Gillian, you've got a really great example, haven't you? I think to start us off with, because we were talking earlier, and I think it's just about how sometimes, we're led to believe it's all about the goal setting and having this wonderful goal setting process. We absolutely love a goal setting process, don't we? But it's so much bigger. And you've got a story about where you perhaps in the past found the process quite difficult. So I think we'll start there, if that's okay.
Yeah. So I mean, one of there's two types of goal setting, and the one is many people might have heard of it, the SMART, which is measurable, achievable, realistic, and then there's a whole different line of thinking which says no, you should have stretch goals, push yourself, and really aspirational goals. Now, personally, I'm 100% in favor of that. I mean, I always want to change my life completely and create something different from what I was brought up expecting was achievable for me. So I completely get the idea of setting a goal sort of that seems almost out of reach. However, if you sit in an exercise, and this is what happened with me, I was just starting my coaching business, and I was like, okay, well, like, how many clients do you want? And I thought, well, I could see myself having 30 clients. And then it was, well, 30? You could have 60, you could have 100. And I was like, and then double that number. And it was like 200 clients. And my brain just went, there's no ways I could talk to 200 people. I will never be able to do that. And I literally shut down for about a year. I was like, it was so far removed from who I am and what I really wanted. I didn't leave corporate to create an empire. I didn't want a school of thousands and thousands of people that I had to interact with on a daily basis. I just didn't see myself in that role. I can now, 5 years later, start seeing myself interacting with the community, in the way that we're doing it, with conversations and in finding our own way. But I just shut down. And what was so dangerous about that approach was it was given without reference to who I am and what my particular makeup is and what my actual personal values and goals and limitations, which maybe I want to reach beyond. And some of them are, say, part of my personality. And it's actually not something that I want to change. So I think that's the part that I think is missed with some of these, like, off the cuff, do this, and then there's your goals. And then you make an really unrealistic. I'm all for change and transformation, but sometimes it's like changing, like becoming short when you're tall. It's so completely different. It's impossible.
Yeah, absolutely. And that advice, as you say, to be advised, well, double it, and it takes you have, your subconscious is chipping away going, well, that's impossible. That's impossible. So like you say, you do nothing. And I think and it's, quite dangerous as well in the fact that it's, quite upsetting for people. Then they get really, they fall out of love with what they're doing and they think they can't do it. But we are getting to that time of year, aren't we, where we will start seeing more and more pop-up sessions. Come and do a goal setting session with us, come and do this, that, or the other. And I must admit, from the experience I've had, I mean, I've had similar experiences, when people say, you absolutely need to set what you're working to. And I do believe you should just love your goals. That should be, so yes, they should be aspirational and they should be big, but they should just be something that you really love. It doesn't feel forced. It's something you love. But we are getting to that time of year again, aren't we, where we will see lots and lots of sort of like, come and do this quick session. And we just don't notice what we're bringing. And it's so important, isn't it? Like you say, because it's personal. Your goals are personal,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no one out there who can tell you how you feel, where
Mm-hmm.
you are, that can see, the sorts of things that might trip you up. So, and of course, you see that now after you've been through that process and been that 5 years. So what do you think? I suppose, well, it's not so much what's the answer, but as I say, what's the starting point for somebody when they're looking at goal
Yeah.
setting?
So I think it's really, I think one of the dangers, and I mean, if I do a process now, it's the dream it. Yes, dream it. I mean, um, and I've done a lot of work, and I've realized, what parts of me are, the short, or the kind of parts of me, part of personal development. Let me go off on this aside. But part of personal development is transformation and changing and becoming, like, I don't know, more socially confident, or um, learning to put in boundaries, or um, being more confident, all those sort of things. And then part of it is the unmasking and kind of delayering,
Mm.
getting to what you really are, and what you really like, and what you really want. And I think that's, I think one of the starting points for goal setting is, I don't know, to me, it's like spend 5 minutes on the dream, then spend the like next 55 minutes on yourself, and really like looking at what parts of this dream are attractive to me. Because I mean, you and I have also talked about our clients. I mean, some of our clients might define a wealthy life as they want to be able to go on a cruise ship, twice a year, and they want to go here and there, and they want to be able to only work 6 months a year, and they want to be able to have assets that give them money. And others of them want to just never have to go back to a 9 to 5 job again.
Mm.
And they basically just want to be able to contribute to their household and have the afternoons off, and have a little bit of meaningful work in the morning. That's, and both are living a very wealthy life. And I think that it's dangerous for an external person to set your aspirations. And it's important to start with, well, what actually are my aspirations, and why? I think
Mm.
that's it's the who you are and why. Do I want peace? Do I want free time? Do I want security? I mean, there'll be a lot of coaches and motivational speaker and productivity coaches who are all about more, more, more. Um, Maybe you don't want more. Maybe you just want to put money in the bank and feel safe, and that's cool.
That,
That's
yeah, that more, it just, for
mm,
me, it just signals burning out, getting
mm,
tired, getting frustrated. And I think as you were talking there, it's so true with, I always, when I'm working with my clients and they're setting their goals, and what we're talking about is the results, what, like you say, you might be, I want £10,000 months.
mm,
What does that mean for you?
mm,
Does that mean, well, do you know what? It means I'm going to sleep better at night. It means I'm going to be able to sit on the sofa and enjoy, relax. I'm going to be able to, so it's kind of all the other things that go with it that are
mm,
that the sort of what we want to create, isn't it?
mm,
It's being relaxed, it's being
mm,
calm, it's all those other things as well. But yeah, we really just don't dig into that personal development side of things enough, do we? And I
mm,
think that's where we want to sort of lead people today, really, is to kind of understand that you need to know where you are starting, don't you, when it
mm,
comes to goals. It's all well and good to sort of sit in a workshop and think, yeah, that's what I want to create. But if you don't know where you're starting, what little piece of baggage you might have around that, what your identity might be
mm,
around that, what your values are, you
mm,
are going to get tripped up because you can't outperform all of those things going on beneath
mm,
it, can you? And I think that's what's so crucial. It's all well and good to write a list of things that you want to create.
mm,
But if you don't have the identity of somebody that can go and do that, it's
mm,
just not going to happen, no matter how hard you try. And this is where it's unfortunate, and someone's, well, go out, do more, try harder,
mm,
you know put another 10 people, go and ring 5 people now, all of those things. It's not going to create the results, is it, if we don't
Mm.
first do that identity work?
Yeah, because when you're setting goals, I mean, ultimately, when you're setting a goal for 2024, which is going to, I mean, it's already started.
Mm.
Because it is true.
Yep.
We're at
Yeah.
last day
It's
of
weeks
October.
away. Yeah.
Um, so, I mean, in South Africa, we've got about 6 weeks left to the rest of the year because by mid-December, it's midsummer and shut down. So it's all about plans and goals, and what's going to be your income goal, what's going to be your client goal, what's going to be your accomplishments. People are going to be really about that. And I always prefer to say, let's look 3 to 5 years ahead, just something further ahead. It's so important to have a kind of life vision, life mission. And by that, I don't mean like something big and aspirational, become a saint or change the world or find the cure for something. It's just like, what do you really want? What makes you happy? Are you going this direction or that direction? And then you can set the first goals that you set for 2024 is literally just in pencil. They're pencil goals. And I think that's where people get tripped up. It's really important to wake up every day and be working towards something. But it's also really important to understand, well, okay, I've tried that thing for a couple of days and that's not a really good thing. And why not? And this is where let's go back to who you are. So let's take a simple example of I want to make, I don't know, you said the word 10,000 pounds. So I want to make 10,000 pounds. Let's say right now I'm making 1,000 pounds. So it's like, okay, this is a maths game. So, how many clients do I need? I can have so many that charge this much, so many that charge that much. I need to be making so many calls. We've all been through these kind of lessons. And it's, okay, this is simple math. So I need to sell so many products or so many sessions. And it's not just maths. And now it's like, okay, well, now you need to either up your value of yourself and charge more, or you need to be talking to more people and so on. And in fact, it's really useful then to say, okay, well, even if you assume all of that is correct, why couldn't you go and do it tomorrow? And you'll probably find that there's a whole entanglement of who you are, what you believe in. Do you want to talk to people? Do you even know people to talk to? Are you actually in the right industry? Do you like what you do? Maybe you don't even want to do more of that. Maybe there's just a much more gradual approach. And I think that's where, is breaking it down. And you might find that the personal development, in fact, you will find, because we know so many people in these circles, you will find that the personal development path is so much longer than the straightforward financial path, because you've got to, and no one likes to hear this at the beginning of the journey. That's why the people we work with have usually been around the block a few times.
Yeah.
Because when you start, you're like, doesn't apply to me. I'm confident, I'm awesome. I've been in business for 20 years, and that was me. I think you the same. Come out of corporate, I can stand in a boardroom and I can talk to execs. I can do everything. I've run multi-million-dollar contracts. I know what to do. But it doesn't. Skills don't transfer so easily. And when you have to learn a new skill and a new mind game and a new mindset, and when you're exposed and you're not caught up in corporate systems, it's different. And it's slow at the beginning. To get fit is slow at the beginning. And I think that's, you've got to double, triple the time you think it's going to take for that first win. But the good news is that at the end, when you're super fit, you will go faster than you've ever believed. And that's why, I don't even know who said it first, but it's often quoted, is that people grossly overestimate what they can achieve in a year and grossly underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years. And it's because of this. We think we're going to grow in a straight line. but you
Yeah.
don't. You go like this, and then you
Yeah.
start going like this, and then you
Yeah.
start.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And
It
it's
is.
understanding who you are at the start.
Yeah, and it is all about those small steps. And I know as you were talking, absolutely when I first set up my business, very much I'd have been 4 years, 4 years. No, I can do this now.
Mm,
I've got a service, I've got an offer. I can do it now. And almost would have been dismissive of it. But actually, we're not here to tell anybody's story, but people
mm,
will create their own outcomes. But absolutely, it is about the small steps, isn't it? Every
mm,
single a day that you are taking, excuse me. So it is about those small steps and having that space to
mm,
allow the opportunity for all of that retraining
mm,
of
mm,
your identity, your beliefs alongside it. Because
mm,
yeah, that work, like you say, that that's ongoing.
mm,
So even when you get to
mm,
that 4 year point, there's going to be some more unraveling to do for sure, isn't there?
mm.
It's
And whether you're, and I mean, if we go to the money story side, um, because we always say that the money mindset part is the part that's the most underestimated because it's the most invisible. Although leadership, and I qualify that leadership qualities are also invisible, but they're far more often talked about. There's
mm,
leadership training and everywhere.
mm,
So people generally recognize that leadership, and especially entrepreneurial leadership,
mm.
um, requires certain characteristics and personality traits. And if you don't have those personality traits, personality is part of it, but it's your whole identity, confidence, self-confidence, um, the stories you bring, your decision making, all of those things is what I'm
Mm,
calling leadership. And lots of people teach it. And
mm.
we also teach it. But what we've recognized is it's the money mindset that's actually invisible,
Lagging.
and people forget about it. People don't teach it, they don't realize. And I think this is a big stumbling block, especially for those who are looking to expand. So the people who've left corporate, they've then been on their own, they've figured out all the other things, and then they're still a bit stuck. And now
Mm,
they're setting their goals for 2024, and they look very much the same as the goals for 2023. And they perhaps even look similar to the goals for 2022 because it's been like 2 years now and you're still not there
yeah,
yet. You
yeah.
might be more confident in your skills. You might have upskilled a lot. But there's still the
Mm,
goals are still the same. And why? And I
yeah.
think I think that's really the people we're talking to, because then there's a very good chance it's money mindset,
Mm,
because you bring those beliefs, those stories, those ways of thinking with you. And unfortunately, those are often stunted, or they're just not allowed to grow. It's like the bonsai that's stuck in its pot. Um, they're not allowed to grow because in corporate, you just don't grow them, even if you work with budgets.
no,
You
yeah,
still
you're given the
working with
budget.
someone else's money.
Yeah.
It's just a
Yeah.
numbers game.
Absolutely. It's so true. I mean, actually, we just bring so much to the goal setting process that
Mm,
we don't notice because it is
mm,
subconscious. It is part of our programming. We just are not aware. And, as you were saying, so many wonderful, wonderful people that we work with are, confident, have wonderful services, have a wonderful presence on social media, are connecting with people, are just leading their businesses. But
mm,
actually, the gap comes, as you say, when they're not quite getting to where they want to. And it's because they haven't recognized that actually, when they've set their goals, that actually it's come from that place of doubt or a money ceiling, where actually
mm,
that's kind of what it is. That's what
mm,
that's my money ceiling, but if I set it higher, I can't get there. So there's so much. So I
mm,
think what would be really good today is to just have to leave our listeners or watchers with some ideas of things that they can do. So obviously, as we say, a lot of people will be now thinking 2024. I need to get on top of this. They've tried stuff before. They've done numerous goal setting courses and approaches. They've worked with coaches. They've been, yeah, forced to do things, encouraged to do things, and all of those different things that are out there in the world. But they've still not broken through. What can they do? What can they do to, because, and let's make this about money as well, because this is
Mm-hmm.
what we talk
Mm,
about. So this is someone who is got that wonderful business, great reputation, just not breaking through when it comes to their money goals.
mm.
What would we be saying to them to be doing in order to kind of move forward with that in 2024?
I mean, I think it's really important to recognize that there's money blocks and there's money mindset that's at play with the who you are, and to start really focusing on that old, any goal, especially an aspirational goal, will have a who do I need to be,
Mm,
but we don't often really dig into, well, how different is that from me now, and um, how do I make that journey, and how do I untangle and transform the bits where I am now to the bits where I sort of need to be, because it's you and I both said it's not just a matter of waking up in the morning and saying, well, now I feel rich. It's like, well, what does that mean if you've never felt rich before?
mm,
Now I feel
mm,
powerful. So it's just recognizing that and really starting to list it, to actually itemize the points, to actually start digging into um, the stories and beliefs and the money mindset. And it's like, well, if I live in a world where I always have to ask permission before I spend money, does that align with the world where
mm,
I am a powerful leader? And that's just the first example that came to my head. But it's about identifying it, listing it, and actually getting specific. I think a lot of the mind goal setting on the one side and mindset work on the other side isn't specific enough about the process and about the where we are. So that I'd really encourage someone to look at that side of the coin, is to spend an equal amount of time on the, well, where am I now and
mm,
why? Not that I've
mm,
got like one client a week, but
mm.
well, what do I feel about it? What do I feel about more? What's stopping me? What's the blocks? And of
Yeah,
course,
it's
we've got
it's
many resources.
yeah, it's about what do I feel, isn't it? That's that's at the heart of it, because
Mm,
it's what we feel about something is how we're showing up. And if we
mm-hmm,
wanting to create more money, but actually we feel pretty rubbish about money, or we feel we're letting
mm,
people down about money, or we feel that money is oppressive, or if we've got all these things going on, then we're just not going to catch up, are we, to where we want to be? So
mm,
it is, yeah, we have got resources available. People can
mm,
follow the link which I'll put below this chat, where you can go and we've got various resources available, haven't we? But you can do some work around how you feel about money, because that is the
mm,
first starting point. It's understanding how you
mm-hmm,
feel right now about money, and that's where you can build from, isn't it? It's so
mm,
powerful. So yeah, a couple of things people can do. You can join our Facebook group as well. I'll also pop the link for that below. And we have got some resources available as well, including a quiz where you can understand a bit more about how you feel about money. We've got a journal as well, haven't we, where people can sort of work
mm-hmm,
through how they feel about money. That's quite a useful exercise for anybody watching this that,
mm-hmm,
yeah, wants to get that straight before they do their 2024
mm-hmm.
goal setting. So yeah, get in touch and we will get those out to you. That's not a problem. But it's so interesting, isn't it? Because as I say, I
Yeah.
just think we're about to get caught up in this frenzy again around, 2024, and off you go again. And it can actually be quite a soul destroying time for
Mm,
people that like you say, are
mm,
sitting there thinking, here I go again, fourth year of setting the same goals I didn't achieve for the last
yeah.
3 years. So actually, it's not to do with that goal setting process. It's to do with the attention you're paying to yourself and
Mm,
your
yeah.
personal development, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think, and I mean, that's what I mean. We're going to be talking about that for the rest of this year. So so follow us, join in. we'll be posting links to masterclasses. We'll be having live. I mean, we'll continue with our conversations, because I just think it's, yeah. And, if your 2024 goals are the same as your 2023 goals, then it's okay. It just means that there's probably an extra goal you need to set yourself first, which is that personal development goal, and put the attention there.
Yeah.
Because it's otherwise you'll get the same result.
You will. Well, it's been fascinating, and as ever, lots of good information in there for things that people can go away and do and reflect on as well. Because absolutely, what we want people to know is it's not their fault they haven't met their goals. It really, really isn't. It's just that they are not examined on such a personal level, and actually that is so critical if you want success, is to do that development work alongside it as well. So yeah, but anything else, Gillian, you think we haven't covered today? No? Fantastic.
That's been a really great conversation as ever.
It has so thank you, everybody. We'll be back next week with another conversation. Take care. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.